Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. You know that we love new product here in Park City, especially if it's from entrepreneurs, and I've got a couple of them here in studio from Uncharted Supply Company. I've got Christian Schaff here and Eric Janowick. Welcome, both of you, to the show. It's great to have you. These are the CEO and CFO, respectively, and co-founders of Uncharted Supply. And I suppose right out of the gate we should ask you what it's all about. I know it's about being properly prepared.
Yeah, so when we developed this, Eric and I are both from Wisconsin, and then we both made our ways to Los Angeles for a while. I think people here are kind of used to dealing with weather, but in LA it sprinkles and everything stops.
Yeah, everybody freaks out. A little bit of snow on the ground.
Yeah, not even snow. I mean, just rain can stop the world. So having our backgrounds that we do and then experiencing that, we were like, wow, you know, what if the big one hits? Or what if, you know, there's a lot of things that can happen these days. And so I went down a path of what's the right product to have, and it quickly became apparent that there wasn't one, so we built one.
Well, there you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so we talk about this often on this program, that even our governor here in Utah says, look, 72 hours you're on your own. We're not going to get to you. We're not going to be able to help you. We're not even going to try. We're going to try to take care of like the bigger business of, you know, fixing things, getting people rescued. If you're safe, you got to take care of yourself, right? Right. So that's, I'm assuming that's sort of the impetus to this idea.
Statistically, if you go to ready.gov or FEMA, 95% of all survival situations are resolved in 72 hours. But it's those first 72 hours where you are on your own. Yeah. And that can be the difference in life or death. And you know, having some food, water, shelter, a way to make a fire, like, can really change a deadly situation into an inconvenience. Yeah. So our goal was to give people not only the products, but if you open this up, there's instruction on how to use everything. So if you've never even stepped outside in your entire life and you find yourself there, you should be able to follow this and get through what's happening.
That's pretty awesome. Well, you know, they say, you know, and I think it's kind of interesting too, when we talk about the 72 hours, you know, the first day is easy, right? It's like the first day of being homeless, not as big as the other ones. Clearly it's the same situation here. But the idea of also having it all compact in a bag, something we talk about a lot, on, you know, really having a go bag, having something for your kids, being able to get the heck out of Dodge if you need to, right? That becomes critical.
I think a lot of people have a 100-pound, you know, bin in their basement, which is great if you're at home. Yeah. But what we like about this is it's 11.5 pounds. It weighs, you know, really nothing.
That's nothing, yeah.
And everything's in there, so you can keep it in your car, you can have it in your closet, and if you have to move or if you're not home and you have to get home, it's really versatile, and you can bring it with you.
Well, I'm excited to jump into this part a little bit more with you, but I'm kind of curious about the process first. So when you start looking at doing something like this, how does that work as a designer or somebody that's creating something? This is a little different. I mean, you got to come up with a good design of a bag for one thing, but then all the stuff that goes inside.
So I think the question we asked, we've both spent a lot of time outdoors. I've personally been to Iraq 40 times. You know, I've done a lot of stuff like that where you kind of live out of your backpack. But neither one of us consider ourselves the expert. We actually went to our friends who are mountain guides and first responders and, you know, special forces guys and said, hey, I don't want to know what you would carry for you. I want to know what you would give to your family or to your kids or to your parents if you couldn't get to them. And we just collected a lot of information, and that kind of was the overarching direction we took when we built this.
That's really pretty smart, though. I like that. Yeah. So some military time then for you as well?
I was actually a musician for a long time, and we ended up going over and playing dozens and dozens of shows for the troops, and then that turned into sending other people over, and I would kind of escort them around.
Wow. Well, definitely a learning experience for
sure. Eric spent about a decade in the Middle East as well. So.
Yeah, 4 years in the Middle East, 7 years London, year in Germany.
There's nothing like testing out equipment like going somewhere like that. I try to remind people, we think we have a desert here. Yeah. We really don't know what it's like.
No. Yeah. And you know, when Christian and I were talking about the company originally, we both had ideas about go bags, and I had a go bag when I was in Abu Dhabi for 4 years, and it was like this, a little bit different, but I had my own ideas about how this one should be designed, and Christian had a lot of ideas about how it should be designed. And when we looked in the marketplace and we bought all the other go bags out there to see what our competition would be, we quickly identified that they were poorly organized, poorly planned. They were designed, decades ago, and they weren't really modernized for the times.
And they're almost dangerous because,
it gives you a false sense of security.
Right? They try to make something for under $100.
Yeah.
And if you're really having that many things in a bag, like how good can the quality be if it's that cheap?
Yeah.
You start digging into things and you could break a knife in half, or the flashlight didn't work, and it's like, people think they're prepared, but they're not. So one of the things we get feedback on a lot is, this thing's $350, and people go, that's a lot. And I tell them, well, we tried to find the right balance of something you can completely trust and we'll put our name behind,
right,
and not being too expensive where nobody can afford it. So,
well, how valuable is your life? How valuable is life for your family? Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. Well, I'm excited to get into this, and we're going to do that. We're going to take a quick break here on the program. We're going to come back and open up the bag and see what's inside right here. Uncharted Supply. Looking forward to this. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. Continue our conversation with Uncharted Supply Company, and that's why I have Christian Schaff and Eric Janowick here in studio. Entrepreneurs, to be sure, but also just smart guys that know that you've got to be prepared and take care of yourselves and your family for at least 72 hours if something were to happen, and that's where the bag comes from. All right, so fellas, I'm excited to jump right into this thing, but first I want to talk about where you were with it just most recently. We've had a lot of products that come here first and ended up on Shark Tank, 14 of them that I can count at least. You guys are doing it the opposite direction. You went there first.
14, I think you have a business in like launching Shark Tank companies.
Do, right? I think
Should take some equity.
Yeah.
but hey, maybe now it's more about them launching products to be on Park City Television.
There you go.
There you
go. Full circle.
So I think we've got a photo of you guys on the program. This is exciting. Talk about your experience on Shark Tank.
So we were in the season premiere last Sunday. If you missed it, you can go onto abc.com and still watch the episode. It was fun. We filmed in June. What people maybe don't realize is we were in the tank for an hour.
Wow.
So there's a lot of conversation that goes on for like a 5-6 minute segment on the show.
Oh yeah, there is.
And a lot of editing. Yeah. So maybe things are out of order, but definitely intimidating walking down that hall. But once you get into the conversation, I think when you have a product you believe in and sales are good, it's a fun conversation.
Right.
You're learning. We're trying to tell more than hide anything. We had nothing to hide, and it was a positive experience. So, and the response has been incredible.
Now, did you come out of there with a deal?
We did. Robert Hertzevek agreed to invest $200,000 for 10%, which is twice what we were asking.
Wow.
We're still kind of in the due diligence process right now. I say Shark Tank's like speed dating, and then you have to get married, so it takes a while.
Yeah, for sure.
But we went in, and right away, like in 2 minutes, Robert made an offer. And
he's a good guy to go with.
Yeah.
That's what I'd go with.
We thought, here's a guy who's kind of the adventurous guy on the panel, I think, and it fit well.
That's excellent. All right, well, talking about adventurous, let's see what we have for our adventure if things go wrong.
Cool. First thing I'll mention, just in the bag, it's airtight. So this thing will float. This thing will float you. Yeah. Think about Katrina, and people are getting stranded. Having something to hold on that's going to keep you above the water is really great. So
we were talking about the Navy guys. Every single piece of clothing they wear can be floated.
Absolutely.
Which makes good sense to have your bag first and foremost be that too.
And we put reflective logos on this. We tried to keep it muted. What people don't realize is, let's say something goes down and there's 10,000 people fighting for supplies. You don't want a bright red backpack that says emergency supplies on it. Yeah, so we made it muted, yet all of the logos reflective. So if you're at night and a car light hits it, it reflects back.
I like this. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah, that's a quote. One of our partners, Brian Warren, always says, he's a mountain guide, and he's always just slow down. That's faster if you do it right the first time.
All right, so just pull this right out?
Yeah, so you can pull out, we call this the insert. Okay. And one of the key things that we did is we put instructions everywhere. So these are screen printed. So if you have a lot of people have like a booklet and it gets wet, it tears apart, you can't read it. This is screen printed. It's going to last. It's not going to rub off, and it shows you kind of the top 50 things that typically happen from
the most important 3 right on top. Get warm, start a fire, camp out.
Right. Everybody thinks that food's the first thing, but you can go weeks without food.
Yeah.
What you need to do is make sure you're protected from the elements.
The cold will kill you. Right. Yeah, that's the thing to take care of. Wow, I like that. Okay. So this is just slick. I like this.
Yeah, so you open it up, and then there's 35 roughly pieces in here. Depends on how you want to count it. But everything's organized and color-coded by need and use case. And there's a lot of stuff in there.
I like the quality of this stuff. I can already tell. I mean, lots of metal, lots of...
Yeah, like that water, that flashlight
nice.
we put underwater for 3 days and it kept shining. So
That's
you just
great.
push the button in the back.
There we go.
You know, a lot of kits we'd buy have a plastic flashlight that was dead when we got it.
Wow. That's
And you
great.
know, extensive product testing. Everything in here has been vetted by us personally and by the people that are working with to, you know, give us the expert reviews. And now we've had a lot of validation in the marketplace as well. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody that buys the bag, people come back to us with, you know, constructive comments at times, but overwhelmingly the reviews have been super positive.
Yeah.
I like this. Now, I'm sure there's a trick to this multi-tool, right? Or
Just
do
a
I
little
keep pulling?
multi-tool.
There
Just
we
keep
go.
pulling. Yeah,
There you
it's
go. Got pliers. I've got, gosh, all kinds of stuff.
Screwdrivers,
knives,
knives,
screwdrivers, everything you could possibly
Can
need.
opener.
Like the little tiny screwdriver right on the top, right there.
one of the
I like
interesting
carabiner.
One of the interesting things in the kit is
Connection.
we include this, which is
Oh,
a
nice.
a solar crank radio flashlight
Wow.
and USB charger, so you can charge your phone. It's you know, let's say
That's
your flashlight
brilliant.
dies, you can crank, and that's always going to have power.
Yeah, that's what you do with your kids. You keep them busy.
Yeah, tell them to
Go
keep
ahead,
cranking.
just keep
Yeah.
cranking that. Get that
You got
cell phone
72
charge
hours.
back
Keep
up.
that thing lit.
Exactly. It'll keep them busy. No big deal. You want to listen to the radio? Crank. All right.
So a lot of stuff in here. You know, even the water bottle, we went as far as to, you know,
Put
usually,
instructions on there.
yeah, usually on the side it just shows the ounces, but on here it says, you know, drink 1 serving every 6 hours, and we have the servings marked out, so you don't have to do the math and figure
That's smart.
figure out what, you know, what an ounce or what a serving is.
You know, and
a
a lot of
tent, a blanket, hat, gloves.
Yeah.
So hand warmers. What kind of tent are we talking about here?
It's a Mylar, you know, like a space blanket type.
Yeah.
But the idea is you set it up. It takes 30 seconds to set up, and if you know you stack a bunch of brush around it, kind of get inside, and it's going to keep you dry and reflect heat back. Which we've tested it. It's warmer than you'd think.
Well, I always say that's the one thing. If you had nothing else, like absolutely nothing else in your car, the most important thing to have with you or on your person is a space blanket.
Yeah.
'Cause at the end of the day, you can capture water. You can, if you needed to clean it, you could. You know, you can evaporate it back. You can keep yourself warm. You can give yourself somewhere to shelter. I mean, it's the one. I mean, that may be the key, absolute most important element of any kit, I think.
Totally.
And then, of course, first aid. If you're bleeding, it's not going to matter, right?
Right,
So you got to
right.
take care of that.
Right.
So we got some stuff in there. Duct tape. That's obviously an
That's
important
my favorite.
one, right?
You know, snowmobiling my whole
Right.
life. Duct tape is the key.
Got a shovel, an axe, a knife, a fire starter, duct tape. Wow, this is amazing. Goggles, air filtration mask.
Yeah, so it's an air mask. It blocks 99.999% of everything in the air. So if you're going through a forest fire, or there's, you know, just stuff in the air, or if it's just really cold, you know, to be able to kind of keep things warm.
This one I think is pretty critical too. Way to take care of your water.
100,000 gallons that can
filter.
process.
100,000
So,
gallons.
yeah. Yep.
Amazing. And then what's food-wise? What have we got? We don't have.
Well, food
That's
we
kind of
have,
not our big thing that we're paying attention to. Clearly,
It's
right.
the funnest part of the kit.
Yeah?
2,400 calories of Daytrex
bricks?
USDA,
Wow.
or sorry, U.S. Coast Guard approved food source, and
Wow.
so they're basically very nutritious sugar cookies. That's what they taste like.
Okay.
And you know, we kind of thought a lot about what kind of rations we could put in the bag, and we went back and forth. And at the end of the day, this one is the most nutritious, has the most calories, tastes the best, and it's in the smallest form, and so it really fit the bag really well.
Yeah.
And that will last 5+ years in the most extreme conditions. So one of the things we
Really?
want to do is make sure people didn't have to keep refreshing every 6 months, because we know people just don't want to do that. So, you know, that's something that you buy, and it's ready to go for a long
Well, my
time.
biggest fear, honestly, you know, when I go with my go bag is like, all the stuff that's expired.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And now, I wouldn't
And
have
there's
to
two
worry
things.
about
There's
that.
food and there's batteries, and there's like a 5-year life on that. And even if the flashlight goes out, you still have the crank. So you're
Gosh,
pretty
guys.
well set. Yeah.
I'll say you are. I mean, this is pretty. I really don't see that you need a whole lot more, but you do have like lots of little storage spots, things to
Yeah.
put other things in. I even noticed one in the strap here, which is pretty impressive. The little zipper there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. Fellas, this is terrific. So the price point on this, you said, is right around $350, right?
It's $350, and people might go, geez, that's expensive. But if you went on Amazon and tried to buy all these pieces, Amazon's usually the cheapest.
Right.
It's still going to cost more, excluding the bag and this divider. So we feel like it's
That's
a really
awesome.
good value. I would tell people, yeah, you can buy a kit for $100 out there, but you can probably look at every piece and realize that it's not going to last you if you really have to
I can
push
take
it.
care of you.
Yeah.
Where can we find it?
Easiest is our website, unchartedsupplyco.com, or we're on Amazon. Just type in the 72, and we spell that 70 and then the number 2. So we're just totally online right now.
Guys, I want to thank you so very much for being here. This is awesome.
Yep.
I see another winner clearly when it comes to great products out of
Cool.
Utah. Yeah,
Thank you.
always impressive. Thank you so much, Phyllis.
Pleasure.
Again, it's Uncharted Supply Company. You need to be properly supplied, properly taken care of for an emergency. We've said it on this program hundreds of times. You've heard experts here on this program, from the fire department to folks from the Red Cross and others. Well, high time to get that taken care of. There you go. We'll be back with more right here on the program right after this.